Hello friends, this video on NEET reproduction is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Question number 38. The part of fallopian tube closest to the ovary is isthmus, infundibulum, cervix or ampulla. So the fallopian tube can be divided into three parts: isthmus, ampulla and infundibulum. So if you look at this picture, which part is closest to the ovary? This is the ovary. So infundibulum is closest to the ovary. Isthmus is far from the ovary and ampulla is the middle portion. Question number 39. A change in the amount of yolk and its distribution in the egg will affect formation of zygote, pattern of cleavage, number of blastomeres produced, fertilization. So of course the pattern of cleavage will get affected. Why? Because as we have learned before that yolk is quite bulky. So it is not very easy for cleavage to happen through the yolk. So depending on how much yolk is present in an egg, we will decide what type of cleavage will happen. Similarly, depending on where the yolk is concentrated, we will decide which type of cleavage will happen. For example, for eggs with less yolk, cleavages are generally equal, or complete cleavage takes place in eggs with less yolk, and the resulting blastomeres are also of similar sizes or equal sizes. So equal holoblastic cleavage takes place in those type of eggs. But if the egg yolk is localized, like the yolk is present only at a certain region, in that case often the cleavages are unequal. If there is too much of yolk present in the egg, in that case it is often partial cleavage, that is complete cleavage cannot take place. So that means if yolk is present in large amount, in that case what type of cleavage will happen? In that case incomplete cleavage or partial cleavage will take place, which is known as meroblastic cleavage. Now for eggs with yolk in very small amounts, what type of cleavage will happen? Complete cleavage will take place, which is called holoblastic cleavage. So depending upon how much yolk is there and where the yolk is concentrated. For example, for in eggs with yolk which is concentrated in a certain region, like where the yolk is not uniformly distributed but concentrated in a particular region. In this type of cases, the blastomeres which will be formed after the cleavage are generally unequal in size. So this results in unequal blastomeres after the cleavage. So these are the factors which determine the pattern of cleavage of an egg. Question number 40. Which one of the following statement is incorrect about menstruation? During normal menstruation, about 40 milliliter blood is lost. Yes, that is correct. The menstrual fluid can easily clot. Well, this is not correct. So this statement is incorrect. Now, why it doesn't clot? That's because during menstruation, the body also releases some anticoagulants, and these anticoagulants doesn't allow the blood to clot. Now you might ask that why body releases these anticoagulants? Because the body wants to remove the excess lining on the uterus, because that lining on the uterus is unwanted for the body. So that lining was developed just for implantation of the embryo, but since the women did not get pregnant, so now that lining of the uterus is unnecessary. So just to get rid of that lining, these anticoagulants are released by the body. Some anticoagulants like fibrinolysin, which is an enzyme that is obtained from the endometrial tissues. So these kind of enzymes prevents clotting to happen. So therefore the blood doesn't clot and it all flows out of the body. So option B is the right one. Question number 41. At the end of first meiotic divisions, male germ cell differentiates into secondary spermatocyte, primary spermatocyte, spermatogonium or spermatid. So let us again quickly look at the formation of sperms. So sperms are formed from spermatogonia. So if you talk about the meiotic division, so meiotic division, what does it do? During meiosis, the ploidy number is always halved. That means diploid cells get converted to haploid ones. So after the first such conversion happens at this stage, where primary spermatocytes which were diploid gives rise to secondary spermatocytes which are haploid. So that means at the end of first meiotic divisions, male germ cell differentiates into, obviously secondary spermatocytes would be the right option. Question number 42. Gray crescent is the area at the point of entry of sperm into ovum, just opposite to the site of entry of sperm into ovum at the animal pole, at the vegetal pole. Now, if you look at the entry of sperm into ovum, gray crescent area will always be the area just opposite to the site of entry of sperm. So, if the sperm is entering from this side, gray crescent area would be towards the opposite side. So, B is the right option. Question number 43. Ovulation in the human female normally takes place during the menstrual cycle at the mid-secretory phase, just before the end of the secretory phase, at the beginning of proliferative phase, at the end of proliferative phase. Now, what are the various phases of the menstrual cycle? Let us quickly look at the various phases. First phase is menstrual phase, that is the bleeding phase. So during the bleeding phase, the endometrial wall or the endometrial lining breaks down, because of which bleeding occurs, and this phase lasts for 3 to 5 days. Next phase is follicular phase, which is also called proliferative phase. What happens in this phase? The follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, stimulates the ovarian follicle to release estrogen, and estrogen stimulates the proliferation of endometrial wall of uterine. So that is why it is called follicular phase, because the ovarian follicles get stimulated by FSH. It is called proliferative phase because the endometrial wall of the uterus is proliferated during this phase. So this is the follicular phase, and this lasts for 10 to 12 days. Next is the ovulatory phase, when ovulation takes place. That is, the Graafian follicle ruptures and the egg is released from the ovary. That is ovulatory phase, and this happens around the 14th day. So ovulation happens at the 14th day. Now, during the ovulatory phase, the hormones, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, these hormones are at their peak level. And finally, the luteal phase, which is also called the secretory phase. So during this phase, the remains of the Graafian follicle, because the Graafian follicle ruptures in the ovulatory phase, but whatever remains are left, they form the corpus luteum. That is why it is called luteal phase. And this corpus luteum secretes progesterone. So that is why it is secretory phase, and the progesterone performs various functions which are needed for implantation of the fertilized egg. So this is the last phase, which is the luteal phase or secretory phase, and this phase also lasts for 10 to 12 days. So these are the various phases of the menstrual cycle. So we have to understand when ovulation takes place. So ovulatory phase is here. So ovulatory phase is basically after the proliferative phase and before the secretory phase. So in this case, which would be the right option? So it is at the end of proliferative phase. Question number 44. Bartholin's glands are situated on either side of vagina in humans, on either side of vas deferens, on sides of the head of some amphibians, at the reduced tail end of birds. So Bartholin's glands are a part of the female reproductive system, and these are pea-sized glands, small glands located on either side of the opening of the vagina. So if this is the vaginal opening, these are the Bartholin's glands. So the correct option is A. And what is the purpose of Bartholin gland? It secretes mucus to lubricate vagina, because it is very important for the vagina to remain lubricated, because it is the path for the sperms to enter inside the female reproductive system. So these Bartholin glands are homologous to bulbourethral glands which are present in males. So in case of human males, you have bulbourethral glands. Question number 45. During embryonic development, the establishment of polarity along anterior or posterior, dorsal or ventral, or medial or lateral axis is called anamorphosis, pattern formation, organizer phenomena, or axis formation. So, well, this is known as axis formation. And what is this axis called? This axis is known as embryonic axis. Question number 46. What is true for cleavage? Size of embryo increases, size of cells decreases, size of cells increases, size of embryo decreases. Now, cleavage is a series of rapid mitotic division. However, cleavage is slightly different from ordinary mitosis in the sense that in case of cleavage, the size of the cells gradually decrease. That is, option B is correct. Whereas in ordinary mitosis, the size of the cells remain the same. So in this case, what happens is, let's say that this is a cell. When it undergoes cleavage, the size of the cells, the number of cells might increase, but the size of the cells are gradually decreasing. So as these rapid mitoses are taking place. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.